Hello there. Front-wheel drive cars, otherwise known as FF, are the backbone of almost every single Gran Turismo playthrough. If you avoid acquiring the trusty MX-5, you'll almost certainly find yourself behind the wheel of a cheap front-wheel drive car. They will help you get on your feet and overcome that dastardly Sunday Cup. Over in the real world, or at least the UK, I mean, that counts as the real world, right? Anyway, in the real world, everyone I know has learnt to drive at a front-wheel drive car in the UK. I've not been able to find anything on the internet to state otherwise, so maybe it's different in America or the rest of Europe. But in the UK, front-wheel drive is king, at least to start off with. Over here, they're generally recognised as the starting point for any driver. They're easy to drive, hard to go wrong with, and they're generally on the cheaper, lower-powered side of the market, which is perfect for somebody that's new behind the wheel. But what if we locked ourselves to only driving front-wheel drive cars? What positives and negatives would we come across from a challenge like this? But for now, let's outline the rules for today's challenge playthrough. We can only use the cars that have the front-wheel drive drivetrain, otherwise stated as FF in-game. That's it. Those are the rules. You expected more? This is a straightforward challenge. We can only use one set of vehicles. There's not really much more to say. I can, however, tell you what the end goal in today's video is, however. The aim today is to make it all the way to the Gran Turismo World Championship of Gran Turismo 2. This means that we'll have to overcome all the national and international leagues beforehand, acquiring a different front-wheel drive car from all of the applicable nations and pushing them to their respective limits in order to handle the competition they'll be facing. And it's going to be tough. The game isn't very long if you make a beeline straight for the main events, but there's plenty of challenge to be had here regardless. And in the Gran Turismo World Championship, we will be facing up against some of the toughest cars in this game. I'm going to make sure that's the case. You know what I'm like if you've seen any of my other challenges. I mean, the Buick Special in the American Car Only challenge comes to mind. Yes, Gran Turismo 4, I took a Buick Special up against the Sauber C9 and a few other really tough race cars of that game. By all means, watch that video after this one if you want to see how I got on. Spoiler alert, it was a lot closer than you'd imagine. But let's stop rambling and actually get into the video. So let's answer the question, can you beat Gran Turismo 2 with front-wheel drive cars only? Let's find out. 167 horsepower at 1,000 kilograms. That's not bad. Oh yeah, it's got VTEC, boys. VTEC, and it's really heavy. Woo. Also got the CRX, right? It's the box. It's the box of truth. Let's go with this bad boy. Cheeky little machine. It's kind of ugly, but kind of cute at the same time, you know? It's a weird, very weird combo. And once again, the toughest challenge of any Gran Turismo playthrough, maybe even the toughest challenge of all time, was about to be underway. The most grueling test of pace and fortitude known only as the Sunday Cup. The main event that attracts only the harshest and most disciplined of racers. Speeding around tracks where dreams come to die. And it's already over. Hello. Line up, line up. I'm pretty sure it's globally recognized as a criminal offense if you try and complete Gran Turismo without doing the Clubman Cup as well. So let's take the little Civic CRX that could around the Clubman Cup and see if we can beat all of the opponents. In between his car. Whoa. They're just ramming into each other. Going to bed. Alright, mate. Cheers for popping in and have a good one, man. Got to hunt down the Elan. Japanese boat versus British boat. Who wins? The Elan has a very, what should we say, Italian style to it.
They're closing in fast.
No way. Using me as a cushion. We should be able to get him back. Yeah, you have that wall. You think you can get away with doing that to me? I was there when it was written. Another easy win. Back to Grindelwald. Insert Fantastic Beasts joke here. Back to Grindelwald. What in the Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts? Speaking of Fantastic Beasts, your mama called
Smash.
Opposition's getting a little bit more powerful with a Venturi already. And a massive battle between the Peugeot and the Jaguar. But we are keeping with. The Civic is very powerful beyond its performance range. Although it's struggling on the uphill section, as to be expected. But battling between the Venturi and whatever that car was. TBR. Chimera? Or Cerberus? Oh, we have no power. We have no power here. Chimera, whatever it is, trying to go up the inside. Block that off nicely, and we should lose them here. Keep it out the wall. Nope. Handling isn't quite that good. We zoom in. Oh, they zoom in. We're going to dive back to the inside of this corner. Slight bit of contact being made with the banana car, but it's French. We don't worry about that. As he's going to take the inside. Nothing I can do about that. He's going to brake a lot earlier than we do, though. Once again, allowing a lunge up the inside. Hold the inside of the following corner, and we are building a bit of distance, but again, bogged down by third gear. Quite a nice looking track all in all, this one. Quite different compared to majority of previous tracks. We keep it out of the wall this time. Nice bit of distance built between us and the opponents. Yeah, looks like we're going to bring it home. Oh, that TVR is coming back with a vengeance. Braked for some reason. I think we are good to get to the line. Yep, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Now the full configuration of Rome, and we are out of the Clubman Cup. I did assume this wouldn't have the power for a second gear start to be viable, but nothing wrong with experimenting anyway. They're on the brakes far earlier than we are. Dive up the inside, a little bit of contact with the XKR, he won't mind. It's like a David and Goliath moment there. Attacking a tank with water guns. Almost sent it into the wall himself, to be fair. Gonna get a little bit of slipstream down the back straight, but getting knocked around a bit. Use the XKR as a cushion. Bit of a nudge from the TVR. I have to cover him off. Oh, they're actually on me this time. For now, they are battling each other. Don't know how we're going to do this. With the greatest of difficulty now, it's a sprint to the finish. Ooh, only just. That's got to be 20 milliseconds. At most, 46, okay. I don't even know if the blocking we did at the end there saved us from a loss, but that was close. Again, very powerful car, though. Very, very powerful. Okay. Listen, I know we said we would do the Sunday and Clubman Cup, but you can't have a FF challenge or FF only challenge without doing the FF challenge, can you? That would just be illogical. So, 3 more races to do before we go over to the National Leagues. We won't have any trouble here, will we? That is still one of the weirdest Hondas, because it's like a flatbed truck almost, but in car form. Nice and easy Tahiti Road. Beautiful, eh? It's such a wide track that it's very difficult to make mistakes around here, I find. Combined with the fact that, again, the AI brakes too early and it's just generally a bit slow. Quite a nice track overall. Oh, the brakes. The brakes are rough. Got a bit of a soft spot for the Nissan Almiras. The cheese strat is required to keep the cheese Civic behind us. Pretty much a case of pick who you want to dodge. No, we don't have the power. The gear change. Oh, man. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a computer chip. Tires or brakes? I think the brakes were the worst part of the car, so... Although we are gaining already, so that little bit of extra performance. Oh god, here we go again. Laguna wants to say hello. Right, redeemed. Redeemed. Bit surprising. Trial Mountain. We should be good at this by now with all the practice we put in yesterday. And beforehand of all the GT World Championship testing in general. I reckon Gran Turismo 2 has some of... Wow. Not necessarily the most, but it has a crazy selection of FF cars. It might even be the most of any Gran Turismo game, you know? This might be a biased opinion though, because it's probably just I've never really looked for them before, because you don't normally have to. It's normally very easy to come across them. Hitting the rev limiter as we're 11111 away from the AI. How many ones do you want in your time? Car is very much prone to understeering right now. Ooh, we're gonna have to go across the corner. We were not making that. Closing in on the Celica. Basically just hopped in the bonnet, sorry. In the boot of the car just then. Gonna go for a little bit of contact there. What are you gonna do about it? Oh. No, chicane saves us from certain doom. I was very concerned for a moment there. It seemed like they were gonna actually follow me through that. That is the FF challenge over and done with. Alright, so we have won the, when it lets me choose, Tom's T11. 172 horsepower. It's a long boy as well. Kinda curious. This is Toyota, right? Does it have a racing? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, no longer interested. Yeah, all of them. All of them are suitable for the challenge, but I don't think we're going to need any of them, surely. Alright, what now? Japanese Nationals. After having our little bout of fun in the FF Challenge and Sunday and Clubman Cup, it was finally time to start making progress within the National Leagues. And to nobody's surprise, Race 1 was an absolute breeze against the little Japanese boxers. We took the lead immediately and had no issues for the rest of the race. Just brought it home, chilling, no problem. Somehow they kept in the rear view, but other than that, yeah, we're chilling overall. Race 2 is where it got a little bit more interesting, as we were in a constant heated battle against an S2000 and its group of quote-unquote burly henchmen. Not really. We were fully using the underappreciated agility of the CRX, but of course the consistent long straights of midfield were making it extraordinarily difficult to make use of the strengths that we had. We did fortunately have a light batch of upgrades from the previous FF challenge, and they were paying dividends, but we were still nowhere near as powerful on the straights as the AI drivers. The S2000 made a rookie mistake midway through the final lap. Even though we were in 4th position, we were able to slingshot past everybody because of all the mistakes that were made. I needed to take advantage of anything that I could possibly come across, and this was the perfect opportunity. Keep it neat, don't go wide. They're going very wide. That's grand for us. Then everyone just forgot about it. I never even knew. Hello, friend. I love those headlights so much. Goofy little car. So charming, so friendly. Looks so polite, you know? The ZZS. So before we went into race 3, I decided to head over to the Honda tune-up shop and grab a cheeky racing muffler, a little bit of engine balancing, a couple of the transmission upgrades just so the upshifts and downshifts are a bit smoother, and of course some sports socks for the car. You know, buff that already good handling just a little bit more. Oh, and would you look at that? We've got our little Civic CRX facing off against Supras, Imprezas, RX-7s, Legacies, and even an Evo 6. Yeah, those upgrades are going to be, definitely going to be essential moving forward here. The upgrades we just added to the CRX were once again paying dividends as we were absolutely smashing all of the competition in Race 3. Not even a competition at all. Yet they're the fastest cars we've faced so far in this little car. Even though these cars were far quicker than anything we'd faced before in this car, it was like we were back in the Sunday Cup again, breezing past literally everybody. Well, that is the Japanese Cup over and done with. It's time to move on to something else. Oh, and just a quick update on what is to come. For anybody that's familiar with Gran Turismo 2's races and whatnot, upcoming we're going to be visiting the historic races around Rome, where the GT40 ends up where it really shouldn't be. And guess what? There's 2 of them, but that comes later. GG's Japanese. So we already have a French car, Le Français. Everything else is Japanese or German. Past me couldn't remember the upper horsepower limit for the French national race at Tahiti Road, so we took the severely underpowered Renault Clio to the tuning shop and only grabbed a racing ship upgrade. This took the car from 106 horsepower to 110. Hardly the best gains you've ever seen, but is this going to be enough regardless? I mean, 110 horsepower in a 246 horsepower race? Yeah, we may be in a little bit of trouble. But considering what we just achieved with a full decimation at Midfield Raceway in a severely underpowered car, maybe this little French box will have what it takes. Regardless, either way, it's time to see if the charming little Renault Clio can handle the easily the hardest track of all time. I mean, look at how complex all these corners are around Tahiti Road. Unbelievable. All of the normal licenses. Get the GT one from the S tier, because I actually find those to be the easiest of all the licenses. But hear me out, right? The reason I find the S licenses to be the easiest is because you have a whole lap to refine time. So you can have a couple of really good sectors that makes up for the overall time. There are so many other cars out there, and everybody that's played these games, that's gotten gold, has seen these cars already. The licensed ones. Selling them to start with a car. It felt so bad to sell all the Gran Turismo 4 golds, but selling the licensed cars to get a horrible two of my most hated cars, I'll never recover. Oh, is it turboable? Does this bad boy take turbos? It doesn't take a turbo or NA. What does it take? Doesn't even take that. What the hell? Jesus. Okay. At first I was joking about French cars, but I don't think it's a joke anymore. I think French cars are the joke. Wow, this one anyway. Unfunny joke. Before I lead us to another 100-year war with the French over this, French cars for the most part were done pretty dirty in Gran Turismo 2. The few that I've ended up using are lacking tuning options. Now I don't know if that's done for realism reasons or if it's just done because of something else in the background, but if I were to harbour a guess as to why this car in particular can't receive as many upgrades as others within the game, Gran Turismo 2 is known for having a lot of cut content and other issues here and there that led to different versions of this game being released as time went by. With 1.0, 1.1 and even 1.2, I want to say. The developers themselves likely didn't have enough time to fully flesh everything out and test everything to make sure everything is, well, working to the degree they're aiming for, or a degree that they would have otherwise liked. Or maybe this was just simply their intention with the Clio, and other French cars in general. Maybe it was destined to always be mediocre, regardless of what you do with it. But unless we can somehow get a direct line with the devs to ask, we can only theorize from here on. But we can, of course, go by real-life logic. So, for example, I have a 1.4 turbo Astra. Not quite a French car, but a car nonetheless. It has 4 wheels, it drives. When I press the accelerator, it goes forward. Unless I've put it in reverse, then it goes backwards. Back on topic, from what I've seen, I can add almost nothing to it to increase performance. Tuning companies outside of maybe remaps and whatnot just aren't interested. It's a 1.4 engine, there's nothing really to it. So maybe the same logic applies to this car, and that is what they went with when designing it in-game and choosing what upgrades it can and cannot have. But yeah, generally speaking, that is a question for someone with far more mechanical knowledge around cars than myself, because let's be real, what I know is very little.
Oh, hello there.
We're getting back on the final corner, don't we? Oh, we don't. We don't get him back. No, Venturi! Venturi! Gonna go get the final couple of upgrades. Oh, but I wouldn't be able to use. That would drive me insane with how slow the loading is on this. This is also expensive. Surely this is more than enough. R34 Skyline from the All-Stars race. I did have to employ a cheeky bit of that. Oh, as we almost got sucked into the wall there. You see that? The car just tilted up and to the left. Sorry. The camera tilted up and to the right, but... As a kid, I was always like, who's Tom? Not realizing it's Toyota Motorsport. Hey, I was like 3 years old. I didn't know what abbreviations were. Oh, we got bogged down there. Not again, please. The rubber banding there was brutal. Come on. Come on. So bad. We ain't getting past this. Give me the finish line. That wasn't pleasant. That was not pleasant in the slightest. Not a fan. Happy it's over though. Good riddance to that piece of getting the money maker back out. What else do we have to enjoy? Can I just enter any of these? Yeah, this is a muscle car, by the way. Oh no. Well, this is a straight line for now, so it makes sense that they are quick, but... Oh. Please ignore how the engine's small, yep. I swear one of the... It's still hot on my trail. And some fighting between the two of them. Bumblebee and the Cougar. I'm trying to think of a car that can be used in the historic Rome against the GT40. That is FF. But my brain has lost all of the wrinkles. Clio brain rot. It has done me dirty. After taking the well-known muscle car that is the Civic CRX around some American circuits, we completely dusted the likes of the Plymouth Superbird and many other behemoth engine classic long boy American cars. The wins had given us several prize cars and none of which were FF, so off to the scrapyard for a quick bit of cash with all of them. Just because. Cosmic green. Oh, it is nasty. Let's be a little bit careful with the upgrades then. So 216, wasn't it? So for now, we're just going to chuck on a muffler, some brakes, yep, better tyres. Can I put racing super softs on already? And that should be easily more than enough. We can use the tyres? Oh, dude. Oh, no. We were traumatized by this set of races last time. Look at this. Glued to the road. It's cosmic green. We're going to have performance and power out of this world. Having the super softs already fitted to the Golf, it was practically on rails all the way through the German national races. Even though FF cars are famous for their understeer, especially under acceleration, or at least under acceleration, there was almost none to be had around here, and we just smooth sailed our way to victory in race 1. Race 2 of course was a similar story, wherein it took slightly longer due to harsher opponents, but victory was still inevitable for the Golf. And lastly,
should be on the
race 3 is where things truly started to heat up in the kitchen. But the yellow bird just simply couldn't cook us for more than a lap before we sailed past even him for another relaxing cruise to the checkered flag. Easy peasy.
Front of that car always gets me. So goofy. It's weird how once I caught the Porsche, everyone else caught up. Like, oh yeah, we can rubber band to the Porsche now. We have it engaged. We are all rubber banding together to catch up with the green cosmic green Golf. The difference that a few upgrades make. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Even with an RUF BTR2, I might add. Saucy. Italy, 197 and 295. So is the Alpha too powerful, the one I want to go for? Yeah. Punto GT, hell yeah. I reckon we just go with this, to be honest. As much as it's ugly as hell. Yeah, let's get the purple. Cloverfield Alfa Romeo. Let's put some sports tyres on it and see how it does. When in Rome, bring it home. Alfa Romeo and Juliet. Oh god, this is an eyesore. It is funny though how much car taste and even just taste in general can vary. Like for example, some people can dislike certain types of music. Other people can love it. Some people can heavily dislike, say this car. This might be someone's favorite car.
If it's your favorite car though, please seek help.
But seriously, you know, I guess it would be boring if everyone loved the same thing. It'd be kind of difficult to get cars though, wouldn't it? It's out of stock again. Ow! We all buy the same car. No. Yes. Yeah. Hey guys, I souped up my Alfa Romeo. I put 10 turbos in it. 10 turbos in a naturally aspirated car. What could possibly go wrong?
Without wasting any time or messing around, we jumped straight into race 2 of the Italian Nationals. Even though it's a 295 horsepower upper limit, I was confident that this weird behemoth of an Alpha could bring us back a relatively trouble-free victory. As the second race was the longer configuration of Rome, we all know that the AI tends to have a struggle sometimes, get a little bit confused at random intervals around here, so we'd be taking advantage of that at any given opportunity. Will it be enough though?
We go forward. How do we fly? Engines spin. Wind. We go up. How do boats move? Spin. Move. It go in water. Not sink. Get in the wall. Nobody gets hurt. Other than your paint. And probably me after the Alfa Romeo fanboys find out what I did to the, one of the good ones. The Alfa Romeo Mafia are gonna hunt me down. Well, unless something horrible happens, that is, yep. That is the Italian races done in the 145. I was expecting more resistance than that, to be honest, but that is a car I don't think I've ever used before and probably won't ever again because I do not like it.
Now that we were finished driving arguably one of the ugliest monstrosities Alfa Romeo has ever created, let's move on to something a little bit more palatable within the American races, where I'll undoubtedly upset more proper US geezers as I buy something that certain US folk don't consider to be American. Anybody remember the Gran Turismo 4 American Only challenge? Yeah. We only had one car in mind, the Ford car.
Can you put a wing on it though? Oh my god, it's wingable.
Stop it.
I will admit, I probably could have done a little better with my car choices there, but not all of them. But let's be real. If it's made and manufactured by an American dealer, it is American. Brothers and others, consider this. You're taking a leaf out of the Book of the Brits by colonizing the European market with Ford and other manufacturers. Just because it's custom built to appeal to the Europeans and the European market doesn't then make it a European car. It's just clever strategy. And you may then ask, why is it not sold back over in America too? The main reason that the European Fords don't get sold over in America as well is because of the difference in safety and emissions regulations. I mean, You can generally tell the difference by just putting an American Ford next to one of the standard European versions. Like, look at the Ford Focus and the car. Generally speaking, the cars in Europe are much smaller over here. Smaller engines, body, different shapes, more curves in some instances. Different markets generally have different interests and requirements for entry. But let's talk about something a little bit more personal. I mean, let's take the UK for example, something a little closer to home. We have many single track country lane roads. Or if they are dual track, there's minimal space. Like, you will have to be perfectly over on your side of the road to get by without trading paint. You will almost never get a Mustang going around 60 miles per hour around here unless you are either the world's best driver or an absolute nutcase that probably shouldn't be on the road. But a Ford Focus, Fiesta, or some other hatchback or even a hot hatch could get close to that and still stick to the road. You'd still require some decent piloting of the car, but it's not going to be anywhere near as risky as a big beefy American boy. Different cars serve different purposes. I mean, look at me going all Captain Obvious on you. Some cars are meant to go in a straight line quickly. Other cars are meant to back road bash, as we call it over here. Anyway, I think we've rambled long enough now, so shall we get back on topic? So yeah, that is race 1 done of the American Challenge. The elongated Ford car, known as the Ford Puma, yeah, not too bad.
Matt something a few years ago who was talking about the scrapped drag race mode that this game was planned to have. Like, there's a lot of scrapped content in these games.
Race 2 of the US competition ended up being a lot closer than I expected, especially considering it's only a 49 horsepower difference between the first and second entries. And the main reason for that was, of course, the one and only PT Spider. This car has almost never appeared in any other game, but in GT2, it is an absolute demon of an opponent. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it earlier. We happily sailed past everybody else on lap 1, and it was just chasing down the Spider on the second lap. A standard practice, regular rookie mistake from the AI at the corkscrew of Laguna Seca allowed me to sail past and secure first position. Now on to race 3.
Aren't the cars in this one heavy as hell though, so they don't really get to use their power efficiently?
In the third entry, we'd be jumping the horsepower limit up to 394. And when we look at the competition we now have to face... Oh god, I think we may have miscalculated a little bit.
I'm doing it. I don't care, you can't stop me.
All the way throughout this race, it just seemed impossible. Even whilst utilising all of my gaming ability, driving ability, and gamer strats as well, let's be real. The sad part is, even a measly third position was hard to keep. And we were going for first. We did of course manage to get first position very briefly, but it just wasn't meant to be. So it was time to grab a couple of upgrades and then come back and see how we could do.
No! 10 grand. Flywheel is lovely and cheap. That's reasonable priced. And then finally the weight reduction.
Nothing out of the ordinary happened in this race. As per usual, we ended up capitalising on the AI's mistakes around the corkscrew. We kept it clean for the most part, a little bit of blocking here and there, and then once again capitalised on the corkscrew mistake to acquire first position, and this time we actually managed to keep them behind. That is the US races conquered in a front wheel drive car.
Brand Sport is making a resurgence, but we are good to the finish.
The Puma is terrible.
Right, so it's just British. Might grab a Mini Cooper. Yeah, British Racing Green. Doesn't look that nice in this game, I must say. 0 to 60 in 12.4 seconds. Ho, ho, ho. Now that looks more like British Racing Green than this does. Unless it's my settings that are the problem. Let me turbo it. You can turbo. You can over double. You can more than double the horsepower. Oh, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it, boys. We are gonna need it. Alright, let's get the big boy turbo out here. 145 brake horsepower. It now has more horsepower than my car in real life. It even comes with a racing... But first, let's have a look at the clip. That reminds me of something. Yes, I didn't! I didn't delete it. It's here. I still have it. I still have it.
I'm not accelerating at all. What?
I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything, and it just
Okay, the glitch repeated.
it kept spinning. And the moment I tapped the throttle, this would happen.
What have I done?
Oh man, 7 years ago. No mods or anything, by the way. This was before I even added any kind of mods to games. No idea. No idea how I did that. No idea why it happened. It just did. But yeah, there's that. Mini Cooper. Mini Cooper. Mini Cooper. Driving a Mini Cooper. Why do they sound like this? Cars do have grip modifiers. Roger, roger. Plus 10 grip. Yes. You made a spreadsheet. Yeah, another one. Guess what? Race 1. Easy. The shock. The horror. How are you going to process this? I don't even know. Needs more AI upscaling. Now, we get a little bit more serious than that. Looking at the entry limits for race 2, immediately alarm bells were ringing. Doubt may be present in your mind. It was certainly present in mine, but we sent it anyway.
Alright, we're still
More than doubling the horsepower limit. Yeah. But this humble little soapbox that was the Cooper is more than meets the eye. Even though the Lotus Elises that we were up against are of a similar style when it comes to weight and agility, and well, they have more power as well. But, you know, I guess my clearly defined human abilities were just overpowering the puny AI of 25 odd years ago. Just don't let them know that rubber banding is mad strong in this game. Keep letting them forget. Because even when it's fully red tyres, it still handles leagues better than pretty much anything else. Can't remember what tyres I was using though. Alright, well, one more race to go, and it might be doable in this. Another 50 break, 49, whatever. Now, race 3, the finale of the early national events. Lotus Espritz, a cheeky appearance from the James Bond DB5, a TVR Griffith, and a Jaguar XKR. Yeah, you'd expect us to be dusted on the straights in this little Cooper, right? But somehow, the AI just weren't really capitalizing on their clear-cut straight line advantage. Yeah, sure, they'd gap us to begin with each time, but a corner would just rapidly reduce any gains they'd made pretty much instantly. And on a side note, let's be real here. Maturing is realizing that true joy and fun is to be found in how quickly you can take a corner, not just how quickly your car goes in a straight line. Look at the handling as we go around the outside. Albeit in saying that, none of us are able to see how fast I'm currently going, as my slab of a head is currently covering the speedometer. Yeah, I kind of recorded this playthrough over a short time frame and didn't actually realise my mistake, or that I was blocking it until a bit too late. Sorry about that. In future I'll try to pay a bit more attention to where my head is gonna go. Oh well. Just imagine what speed we're going. Right now the Mini Cooper is doing 250 miles per hour. Mad speed. Yeet chicane. It's too damn good. Right, how are we going to get past him? Ooh, slight bit of contact there, and he's just going off. The contact definitely wasn't enough to send him off like that, but here we are. Dramatic TVR moment. Well, very surprising performance from the Mini. I guess that's what happens when you weigh, what, half a ton? If that, just over half a ton. So now that is all of the normal nationals done. Let's go grind some cash. Oh, we could take the Mini Cooper up against the cheating Ford GT, right? Probably going to need a bit more power and whatnot for that. Yeah, let's go and earn some money by spending money to race against something that doesn't give you much money. So which one is it in? Not Tahiti Road, is it? Spin. He's not there. Oh, there it is! We didn't change the gearing, but don't know if that's going to be required. Look at him go! Hello, you. Don't think we're gonna have a chance. No, too far. I can definitely do this with just a bit of a gear change. That's what we're missing right now.
On my second attempt, we finished the race half a second quicker, yet we were further behind the GT40. We needed more.
We didn't. Alright, it's all over. It's all over. Oh, and he's close to me this time. It's all over. He's not pulling away anywhere near as quickly this time. Look at that power difference still. Not keeping out the wall there, unfortunately. No. We turned in too much for the first corner. We'd have had it for sure on the second one there, because that was a lovely lunge, but there he is. Oh, two of them! Two! 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 They're actually fighting each other. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. Probably shouldn't do it in the accent, but people got mad last time.
To begin with, it was quite terrifying as we were facing up against not just one, but two GT40s. However, as the race progressed, we realised that this would just cause infighting and slow them both down. However, if we ever managed to take advantage of this and slip past, we'd then have to keep them behind us. And with the rubber banding in mind, alongside the fact that both of the cars are already way more powerful than the Mini, combined with another fact that the GT2 AI would happily drive through us, yeah, this is kind of a throwback to the David versus Goliath Ford Mustang Mini Cooper face-off of many years ago.
The attack on the corner. Slightly lower 138. Hold. Hold. Couldn't make it stick, could we? It's not looking good. It's not looking good by any stretch. Oh, man. The dirty move. The dirtiest move you've ever seen. Oh, no. We can't make it stick though. Come on! Okay. 70 milliseconds. 70 milliseconds. Wasn't clean at all, but to be honest, they cheat. Ah, yeah, Grindelwald. Here we go again. The GT is there, but it's not cheating this time, but even so. Still won't be easy to beat. Thank you, brother. Although this isn't really a high-speed track, is it? So looks like we're gonna have an easy time. Easier time. Oh Lord, look at that! Here he comes. He's on my tail. No challenge, to be honest, compared to the Rome course, but even so. Hello, I'm back. And we race in FF cars only on Gran Turismo 2 once again. Lovely. Right, so now we've got 1 million credits, so we can pretty much do whatever we want to do. I believe last episode we were planning on starting this one off with buying the Alfa Romeo. The colour really doesn't matter because we're changing it straight away. What colour are we having it in, boys? I like the blue. I like the white grey. I like the red. Let's go with blue. It's time to crack on with the final championship again already. We've made it, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it to the final hurdle. This is pretty much my favourite part of every single challenge. All the practice, progress and determination all leads up to this. And for anyone that's familiar with the channel, you'll know that we won't be going up against easy opponents. We won't be fishing for an easier time. We're going to be facing up against the GT1. And when it comes to FF race cars which are viable for this challenge, we're not exactly spoilt for choice. Generally speaking, fully upgraded FF cars in this game don't really reach over 400 horsepower. And in order to be able to compete with not only the best race cars in the game, but also fight back against the rubber banding in this game, you need at least 400, or just over, to be able to be competitive. And fortunately for us, in Gran Turismo 2, FF cars still handle reasonably well despite the drawbacks that come with a front-wheel drive car. I was advised by one of the Gran Turismo cult legends, T Kanji, on FF cars which are already good, or at least the most consistent FF car, which is the Mitsubishi Eclipse fully upgraded. But let's be real, in Gran Turismo 2 there's probably over 100 different front-wheel drive cars. There are so many obscure, weird and wonderful cars in this game that even to this day I've never seen them in the real world, let alone in the digital one, at least outside of Gran Turismo 2. And the great part about it is that many of them feature racing modifications in this game, so you can see them in a completely different light twice. What an absolute gem of a game this is. This game is full of history. But after that brief tangent, let's get back on topic. So T Kanji recommended the Mitsubishi Eclipse. And I'll be honest, both this and the Dodge Intrepid are way too quick. It would completely delete the challenge that we were looking for. So me and my pedantic need to strive for originality with car choices, it led me to choosing something different. So, with both the Mitsubishi Eclipse and the Dodge Intrepid capable of comfortably lapping 120s around Trial Mountain, even harbouring the capability of dipping into the 119s with careful driving, and even with these lap times in mind, we'd still be having a tough time getting past the GT1, we knew that we needed to try and find something that could lap around the 121 mark. One idea I had was to go with the Civic Type R. Even though this didn't hit the 400 horsepower mark, it weighed under a ton. This meant that on a good lap it was capable of a low 121, however due to the lack of horsepower it required extremely careful driving in the sense of not losing any speed that you'd currently gained, because once you lose it, you're not getting back up to it anytime soon. And sadly the fact that it handled really well just didn't enable me to get past opponents consistently enough. So the Civic isn't good enough. Then we had the Golf GTI. Just shy of 400 horsepower, but weighs about 1100 kilograms. This had a bit more power and was more forgiving, but it just handled like a brick. Not great, not terrible. Not a choice I'd go with personally. The Fiat Coupe looked promising, but was just too slow and didn't handle well. And we finally came to the Alfa. This machine is an absolute boat on wheels, but if you drive it well, you can hit the 120 mark. It doesn't handle as well as the Mitsubishi Eclipse, but it is marginally quicker in a straight line despite weighing a little bit more. So here we have it, a proper challenge, racing against the harshest opponents Gran Turismo 2 has to offer. Unironically this time, it's time to put all of the skill, determination and tactical driving to the test and see if we can do it. Another 122, but we butchered that race unfortunately. It's not happening this time around. Or even begun. 6 points ahead. Yep, we're chilling. The very first position of the championship. Although we're going to be nowhere near the GT1 still, with another 117. So yeah, 4-point difference between the GT1 and myself with 2 races left to go. We are very close. No, I mucked it up. Looks like it was slower, actually. Yeah, look at that. GG. No point even doing the final race. After getting demolished in the first championship due to a multitude of factors, those of course including poor driving and, admittedly, lack of preparation, I now had a deeper understanding of the limits the GTV could reach. Immediately, I knew I could push a little bit harder than I previously did, and not be so cautious. Another added benefit this time around was that the Toyota GT1 was starting in 5th position. I had no choice but to blast past him immediately and begin the defense against the dark arts at the soonest convenience. The rest of the pack, however, wasn't exactly going to be a walk in the park. We were facing up against a lot of really tough opponents from GT2. The Orca Dodge Viper, the dreaded LM Edition Audi TT, and of course the infamous R390 GT1 in the black edition, which is gorgeous by the way. And as a honourable mention, I guess, we have the Vauxhall Calibra, or Opel in this version, which is just there to sing its high-pitched tune and scream as we overtake it. It's not really that much of an opponent. But this is another example of GT2 being quite comical when it comes to the balance on performance between vehicles. The fact that a touring car here is capable of going up against unrestricted monsters of the time, hilarious. Just an absolute meme. Yeah, baby. Never mind. 121.4. Viper's closing me down. Seems the GT1 is in 4th position right now as we do a low 39 at the end of the tunnel again. The rest of the race required me to keep it consistent and hope that the Dodge Viper didn't hunt us down. And he was trying to, and was edging forever closer. I mean, the final lap, he's right behind us, but fortunately, the race is over. That is race 1 conquered, and the GT1 is nowhere to be seen. For now. In the GT World Championship, Laguna Seca is where we're at a fairly large disadvantage for the most part. Even though the corkscrew is still the AI's biggest pitfall, their AI doesn't wait around for anyone on this particular track. Or at least on this track with the cars they're currently driving. They are maniacs around here. But a massive pile-up at Old Trusty allows me to capitalise on a few mistakes that the AI never makes around here. No surprise, the Viper is dodging traction as per usual. Thank you very much, I'll take advantage of that. Poor Viper. We're nice and close to the GT1 though. Getting a good run. We made it to the home straight and the GT1 shot off like it had a nuclear reactor shoved up its... Although he's gone. No. Even though we got gapped to hell and back, it appears an unholy alliance has been struck between us and the Calibra, as he holds him back with a shielded defense that even the Romans would have been proud of. And to further capitalize on this, the cleanest move you've ever seen combined with some Fast and Furious style airtime allowed us to lunge straight past the GT1. What you didn't see here though is my pit lane crew manager slipping the FIA a tenner under the table to not give me a penalty for exceeding track limits. Cheers, Mick. And now we're still ahead of the GT1, but the R390 is going to slip past. Oh no. Overshooting the mark by Toyota's still behind though, so it could be worse. Yeah. No. Maybe, I'm not sure. Brother. Held it. Gotta build some clearance. Oh, there's 3 abreast. Just locked in on that Audi now. Same energy as being chased by a massive wave. The speed at which they were closing down on us, yeah. One lap to do it as we get the first 117 of the race. We are well within distance to do something. Woo, no contact made there. Might be able to nip up the inside round here. Yeah, we do. Kept it clean too. Oh no. No. I really thought we'd messed that up there, but somehow didn't get taken advantage of on the last corner. I have no idea how we got away with that. Okay, so we are leading the championship by 6 points. The Toyota GT1 is 10 points behind us somehow. Everyone's doing their job and holding him up. We are leading, well, we're only just ahead of the Viper by 6 as well, so we're gotta keep the Viper out of contention, but yeah. GT1 in 4th. Didn't know I was a fan of Sleep Token, really? Yeah, I'm just listening to lots of random stuff at the minute. Right, Apricot Hill. The thrill of Apricot Hill. Don't crash into the GT1 or you will be sent the bill. Insurance be like, you hit a what? Woo! Not crashing into anything. What would be the bill? You don't want to know. Already in second position. The Audi is nervous. It's shaking. It's shaking. That ain't the graphics. It's visibly shaking. This is like the Cars movies. Cars are alive. Oh. Whoopsie. 2 gold coins. Oh no. Yeah, you can snooze the ads. Otherwise, people are going to miss out on the best bit of the race. Thank you. Do you want a break from the ads? Oh no. Sounds like Limp Bizkit in the background. It is. By the way, if you're enjoying what you're seeing and you're not following or subbed already, depending on which platform you're on, feel free to sub or follow for more racing related streams, videos, content, all that sort of thing. We do plenty of these challenges. If you enjoy these sort of games, if you enjoy what I bring to the table, would love to have you back for more. GG. We are now leading by a whopping total of 11. I think we got the championship in the bag now, pretty much. That's how much of a difference it makes, the AI starting position, how difficult it, obviously, but it's completely changed the dynamic of the races, even though these guys are still quick.
Ah yes, we've made it to Rome, probably one of the harder tracks in the championship, up there with Laguna Seca. We were straight away on the tail of the GT1, but that was short-lived for the most part. We weren't going to see him again until the second half of the lap. And even then, any positions we'd gained, we quickly lost straight away. The AI was pushing us all over the show. And straight away, it's like we're at the start of lap 1 again, 4 seconds behind the AI. Fortunately, due to the Roman defense of the Calibra once again, we were able to catch up and make time we'd lost. Although we didn't have that buffer anymore, as he's now pretty much in last position. This time, taking a leaf out of the Calibra's book, we're actually keeping the GT1 behind. Even though the only contender we have up against us right now is the Dodge Viper, the more we can keep behind us, the better. Towards the end of lap 4, we were right on the tail of the Audi TT. But guess who's right behind us? Yep, the GT1 is back. A bit of a dirty lunge around the outside of the Coliseum gets us first position. Can we hold it to the end of the race?
There we go. Very sneaky.
Sending it into the barrier before the home straight made sure that we weren't going to secure first position. But can we keep second? Well, yes we can, only just, but not in a clean manner. I feel sorry for the paint job of the GT1. But regardless of dirty moves or clean moves, that is the championship complete. That is the video complete. Can you beat Gran Turismo 2 with FF cars only? You absolutely can. Is it a walk in the park? Not exactly. But that is another challenge conquered.
Cars only, you can. No dramatic finish this time around, unfortunately. We did it in 4 races, but has it been an easy challenge? No. Let's close out the championship with another win, right? We don't have the handling nor power around here, really. No, 4th position. 4th position is the best we can do. With a 109.4 to finish. Well, Gran Turismo 2, another challenge done in you. Toyota managed to clinch a 2nd position in the championship with 24. Really made a comeback. The Viper just fell off. Yeah. Give me that trophy. Congratulations, you're the world champion. Finishing with almost 4 million credits. Quite a selection of FF cars. They're all pretty fun, to be honest.
And that is the end of another Gran Turismo challenge. Thank you all very much for watching, and it is now time to update you guys on YouTube channel memberships. You may or may not have seen my recent community post about the fact that I have lowered the prices across the board of all channel memberships. Long story short, I don't post as frequently as I used to, so I wanted the prices to reflect that. Thank you to everybody that pledged at the higher tiers and higher costs over the years. I do really greatly appreciate you guys. But if anybody wants to become a channel member or rejoin at a different tier, you're more than welcome to using the description link below, or go onto the channel homepage and you can find it there. But for now, I'd like to give a thank you to everybody that is currently a YouTube member. Thank you all very much. I do appreciate you all. I do appreciate your continued support. You guys help make this possible, even though I'm rather busy outside of content creation these days. Here's to the next challenge video. I'm quite looking forward to editing it with the Gran Turismo 4 No Break challenge. And what a crazy challenge it was. But once again, thank you all, have a great time. Check out the other racing game challenges and challenge videos in general if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Get it to slide a bit late? No. Oh, no!